Take a breath. Do it twice. For a while, I kept wanting to watch the original Willy Wonka. Or, was it just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory then? I always forget. It's Willy Wonka for the first one, right? And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the other version, I think. But, one does the original one with Gene Wilder. I wanted to watch for a while with someone. I don't know why I was thinking about that movie for a long time. But, I think it was just because, as a kid, I always thought it was sad how Willy Wonka was, shown. Because it's, this character that more or less just felt betrayed by their employees, that people they thought they were treating well and good and all that. You get this large company and you think you're doing okay by everyone, and then they go behind your back and trounce you. They ruin your recipes and junk. Try to sell off your junk. Where did I put my tablet now? I don't remember. I'm looking for it everywhere. Hold my thought. I got the tablet. Wanted to make sure I turned on my chat thingy. But yeah, I don't know. I just always... I guess part of me resonated with that even when I was younger watching it. And I guess I thought it was odd for a while, but then I started realizing why I felt like that. Just because some people, when they see that you're different, will always treat you differently. Or that people are always going to try and take something from you to have like some edge up. Even if at times it's just stupid messing around like what Charlie did or whatever. Charlie with his grandpa. I mean, that was more his grandpa, to be honest. Charlie tried to stop him, ironically. But, in that whole entire case, the only person that actually, tried to be remorseful towards Willie in that whole ordeal was Charlie. Which was always interesting, because you would think that, like the grandpa or whatever else would be all upsetty spaghetti about everything, too. But, because, like, Charlie grew up with that grandparent or whatever in that little shacky house. But, of course, the grandpa was still being a jerk, because... Well, was it in that one, too, that he worked there? I forget if in the original one he worked at the factory also. I don't know if they said that. I'm pretty sure he didn't say that, right? I think he was just random old grandpa deadbeat, but, like, the grandpa just pretty much acts selfish. Like, when Charlie wins the ticket, the grandpa's the one that goes, I got a golden ticket. And I always found that funny, because a while back when a streamer was talking about it, they're just like, the grandpa's a jerk, because he's the one that's saying the golden ticket thing when it's like, actually, grandpa, That's my ticket. That's mine. It's mine. I guess I can throw it up over here while I ramble about stuff. We're gonna proofread this story today, is at least the plan. I might only proofread this. Well, I think I'll still try to write a page on novel stuff. But yeah, it's just interesting that even though Charlie grew up around those people with his grandpa Joe or whatever. Was his name Joe? Or something like that. But his grandpa was the one that was still a jerk after he was all grown up and old and stuff. He felt like he was entitled to getting this prize because he just made it to the end, even though that he did the bad thing and it was his fault. And at first he doesn't even mention how Charlie deserves it. He's saying how he deserves it. And then just throws in Charlie as the afterthought. And it's only because Charlie gives back his gun stopper and tries to apologize himself that anything actually happens. Because Willie's like, oh, this kid's actually not a jerk. Where all the other little brats, regardless of their environment, they were all jerks. And then Charlie's grandpa was being a jerk in that case, but Charlie still wasn't a jerk. So I don't know. It was always interesting. And then I guess they show off how the mom acts a bit better in that one maybe. But I don't know. It just seems like even if you grow up in good settings or bad settings, bad people can still be created, but at the same time, other people won't be affected by what they grew up with. That even though that they were in crappy conditions and the people around them were still acting entitled and crabby, even at situations where they shouldn't be, that it doesn't have to affect the mind of a youth that still had some sense of empathy and remorse in them or whatever. And I guess that's probably also what Willie would see in that. I wonder what the film director was thinking of, and like what the actual... I never read the actual novel part for it, because it's a novel, right? I'm not sure how they characterize it at all in that, but I feel like in the movie it's interesting how they express it. Like it's like Willie's depression of wanting to find someone that he can actually trust for once. And he feels like the only person he can trust is probably a child that doesn't know any better right now, so then they can actually teach him. But even then, children are still jerks at times. And finding one that's actually a decent human being could be hard to do. But what do you know, you find at least one. One diamond in the rough with a golden ticket. It's interesting. With a pure imagination and all that. I don't know. It just makes me think about that person now, though. And it's just... even when you show you're remorseful or not, it doesn't always do anything, because the other person has to express it back. When Charlie shows his remorsefulness, then Willy Wonka's the one to turn around and say that you messed up, but you had the forthright to come come back and show that you understood in some way the feelings that were happening. He didn't have to say the word sorry. He just had to give back the gobstopper in general to show that he cared in some way, that he understood that Willie was this defeated person right now that just wanted to believe, I suppose, and that humans could actually be somewhat decent still. And I guess it just makes me think, why do people put so much power into certain specific words? Why do they care so much about certain little things that may not matter at the end of the day? It's like the actions can speak so much more than such a simple, idealistic, dumb, silly word like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, what does that even mean? Are you actually sorry, or are you just saying it to make someone go like, well, they said I'm sorry, I might as well just forgive them immediately, right? It's like, no, that's not what happens. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't make your actions get dissolved. It doesn't make your mistakes go away. The only way to do that is to show that you're willing to learn from them, or you're willing to try and understand other people. But then it goes both ways. And if no one's willing to understand you and how you're being remorseful, or you and how you're trying to learn, then it doesn't really matter. Nothing happens. And then you just get something broken that probably shouldn't have been broken in the first place. It just sucks. Then no one wins. Then again, maybe someone does win. Maybe their twisted sense of justice. I don't know. I don't want to believe anything like that, though. I feel like out of all the mistakes I've made, though, I just wish I had a better way to understand the mistakes I do make. But when people just leave and don't help me try to understand them, it really sucks. And then you can only really just try to be better without knowing how to be better. I guess that's a confusing thing. If someone tells you how to be better, you're just being the best in whatever way they want you to. And is that even being yourself then? And then are they not accepting you? Or what? It's confusing. And someone could be like, wow, that just sounds like you're not being remorseful, actually. And it's like, no, I genuinely feel bad. You don't get to decide if I feel bad or not. If I feel bad, then I feel bad. I don't want the people I care about, I don't want to be out of my life because of some dumb mistake I make. And then if they leave out of it, and I don't even understand, I can't fathom why, because of something in my brain or just because of the situations I went through, I'm not able to understand or comprehend the things that they might be going through. And it's like, yeah, that's on me, but I want to understand. And then if my wanting to understand it makes them even more frustrated, then it just makes the problem worse. It sucks. It's like, oh, I want to understand you. Wow, you jerk. Why would you want to understand me? I can't believe you. Like, oh, well, this is awkward. It doesn't always happen like that. Of course, there's tons of conditions and variables to make that up, right? Like in scripting code. You can have all the names and variables, all the stuff you want. But if one part of it's wrong, then none of those things are going to work at all. If you miss the semicolon part, then the whole entire line of code isn't going to work, even if it looks perfect in your eyes. I guess that's actually a good way to see situations like that. Even if in my head I'm just like, okay, they're saying this stuff to me. I understand it. And then they're like, no, you don't understand. And you're like, can you explain it to me? And, then they're just like, wow, you didn't understand where the semicolon was that you missed? No, you're a jerk. I'm just like, wait, but I really don't. How am I supposed to know unless you teach me? Just like how I wouldn't know any of the programming unless I went through all these tutorials and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe it's just something where you don't realize how much time and effort you need to put into something to make it actually work. And expecting the immediate results isn't going to happen. Because humans are sloppy messes of everything. The perfect result's never going to happen. But we strive for perfection because it's easy to do when you have billions of people on the planet. If it's not perfect right away, you can throw away the person and go out and grab a new one out of the barrel, out of the people barrel. I don't want to feel like people would just do that, though. Toss people aside just to grab another person out of the barrel and do the thing over again. And then if that mistake comes up again, they'll just throw it away again. I don't want to think that's how people would act. But then it's like, oh, well, all those things you see right now, they could just be completely wrong. The other person could see a completely different situation, and you would never be able to understand it because you've never been through anything that they have. And it just sucks. And there's not really any way to correct that stuff. As soon as someone's out of your life, there's usually a little to no chance to get them back into it unless you, like, stalk them pretty much, and that's not a good idea. Or at least everyone tells me it's not a good idea. Not that I've stalked people before. Cough, cough. No, I haven't. But then it's like, well, wait, if you like someone, though, aren't you... And they suddenly, like, go away. Aren't you supposed to, like, try and get them back? Like, in the animes, and the storybooks, and everything? In all these romance things, the person has the incredible misunderstanding that you go like, oh my god, they could have just said this, and then it would have been done with. But instead they have the, wow, I hate you. You were standing adjacent next to that woman, so that means that you must be cheating on me. And then they go run off to the airport, so then the other person has to run after them and, you know, do the whole thing. But that doesn't happen in real life. When a misunderstanding happens, it's either that's the break-off point, or the people go down like, oh, well, we can actually just talk. And then the other person's just like, I can't believe you tried to steal all my money. It's like, wait, what? That's a dumb example. I'm just thinking of how my parents can act at times or something. It's just so weird. Maybe my brain's just wired too differently than other people's, though. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I can't afford therapy, so I don't get to know what's wrong with me. So, all I can do is read crappy Pokemon fanfiction and put it on my Patreon account for whoever might read this. But at least I got to complain for... I guess it wasn't really complaining, it was me rambling off a thought for like 20 minutes. Warm up your voice with existential dread. I would say it's more internal dread. Yeah, it was kind of internal dread. But all those trust issues you developed will surely not become a problem later in life. I'm like almost 30. I'm already later in life. That's true. Man, you're gonna suck. But no, I decided to give up the pursuit of love. No reason to pursue it if I'm that terrible at it, right? I feel like that's just better for everyone. I feel like I'm just better off being the friend only and not dipping my toes in that whole situation, since I seem to be terrible at it. I'm very terrible at it. I think I do better all the time, but I think at this point in my life, I'm probably just always going to be terrible. Unless I experience a physical relationship finally. And that's probably not going to happen, because I suck at social interaction. So I'll just, I'll bite the bullet and focus on learning things and writing things. At least I've been better with writing things and learning things. That's pretty much what this whole past week and now this week has been about. I don't know, I just felt like rambling that off because one of my other friends has been dealing with a few things lately. And I've just been thinking in my head how I've handled my current situation, and it's like, well, I just fake being happy. And no one notices, because no one watches my streams anyway. But no. I've actually been pretty okay the last, few weeks, and even if my friend's birthday is coming up soon, I even have it marked on my calendar, because I'm that kind of dumb. The sentimental kind of dumb, where I don't forget things and all that dumb stuff. It's like, oh, that was important to me. Was. No, it still is. But why? Everyone else can give up on the things so quickly, why can't I? Whereas being different in the brain can suck sometimes, for different reasons, I guess. But I don't know, at the same time, I'm glad I don't forget like some people. I don't just suddenly give up my memories and forget what I feel. So I guess that's good. I don't become some cold-hearted psychopath or something. I didn't go around murdering people, so I guess I could be worse. I could be worse. Though if not going around murdering people is the line, then that could be considered bad also. But I don't think I hurt people. Probably. I hurt people when I try to write text messages to them. I seem to be very bad at that consistently. And then other times my friends are just like, I've never had a problem with your writing. Just like, oh. Is my barrel just like 1 in 5 people will be able to not get frustrated with anything I say? And then the rest of them will be frustrated? That sucks. But what you gonna do? You know, you can only try your best. But I think I'll actually start reading now instead of speeching. I always like to do speeches in my Google Plus days, where I'd write out my thoughts about a topic, and then I'd be like, surely if I write this whole speech, someone else will write a speech back towards me. And then someone would be like, you're mansplaining me. I can't believe you. Why would you do that? It's just like, wait, what? No, I want you to communicate with me. I wrote all of this so someone else would write back and go like, that's cool that that's your thoughts. Here are my thoughts. Here's my speech to you. And I'd be like, oh my god, that was awesome. I don't know. I feel like so many people just assume hostility between others nowadays. It's kind of sad. Why is everyone so angry at everyone else nowadays? And they assume the worst in people? I don't know. Despite anything that happens to me, I always want to assume that people are at least trying to be decent human beings. But then if you say that and you see people that are just like, I'm going to completely avoid you forever now. It's like, oh, I mean, even if you ended up hating me, I feel like we could at least end things civilly. And go like, well, difference in opinion. Or it'd be like, actually, it's not a difference in opinion. You just misunderstood this part that I said. It's like, oh, huh, that's funny. I guess everything's fine then. And then you just go back to being friends or whatever. But I guess that's idealistic. People are too reactionary. It just always makes me feel like I'm an alien. But maybe I am an alien. Reactionally. Is reactionally even a word? And then in my case, I'm over-emotional, but I think logically. It's very... it's very awkward. It's a very awkward combination. Because then if you try to explain your logic to someone while you're reacting emotionally, then it just comes off like you're probably a psychopath. That's always fun to work with. What was I doing? Oh yeah, my job. Right. That. My water is out. I talk too much about all the stupid thoughts I have. They're not stupid, they're your thoughts. And it's like, no, they are stupid. We don't want to hear you. Yeah, thanks a lot, people. Thanks a lot, hive mind of the universe. Glad you were here to tell me that I was either, oh, you're totally valid, or oh, you're totally worthless. Go start tying knots. And just like, oh, we're gonna go to that level. Don't go on Twitter. Never use Twitter. Just don't. I only use Twitter to look at funny things. Ignore everything else. Okay, so let's actually start reading for reals now about this story that is not depressing at all about Pokemon. The world of Pokemon is a scary place. Death is around every corner, if one is not careful. I'm already depressed. A rogue beam of energy, a lightning bolt from the blue. Torrential water suddenly blasts someone into a rock. Don't blasting. Torrential water suddenly blasting someone into a rock. The world of Pokemon is scary. Though, some can overcome it. People working together with Pokemon. Even when the world is dangerous and harsh. There are ways to overcome it. What though happens to those that are not part of the world? I think one thing I always like to do is make stories that are, well, not this story specifically, but I like making stories where someone suffers, but then regains hope in the face of an adversary. And in the face of an adversary? Be it a concept and or actual person, but I think I always like those stories. Probably just because I resonated with it in some way by being like, oh, I'm misunderstood and I feel bad sometimes, but then I feel okay later. That must mean I resonate with this character. It's like, wait, what? That's me downsizing some stuff, I guess, but anyhow. Me rambling. Some deity, something really does exist. That was what I learned. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm reading this as the character. I can probably just read this in my character voice, which is totally different than my narrator voice. It is. What should I have the character voice be today? I can just do this voice. Or my slightly higher one. That isn't really higher, but just a different tone. Some deity, something, really does exist. That was what I learned that day when jolted from an odd dream. I woke on the sands of a beach with Pokemon checking to see if I was still alive. My name is Lucas. And I figured I was just a normal guy before all this happened. Now I've been in this small village for a few months. Jubilife Village is a nice enough place. People try their best to live with Pokemon, but many of them stick to the tamer Pokemon. On a nice day, nothing bad happens. I help with research for completing the Pokedex, just like the weird voice in my head and Deity Phone said. I have a good amount of partner Pokemon to select from too. I was not sure why so many people thought it's so hard at first. I came to realize only much later why people feared Pokemon. To me, Pokemon is a game. But this world I am in is real. One day during an outbreak of Shinx, I thought it a good chance to catch more. They are rather tame and friendly when you get to know them. They're animals, when it comes down to it. They're animals. Just like how if you let a pig run free, it becomes a feral boar. Pokemon are unpredictable unless they are inherently not hostile. I guess I can use conjunctions because it's in first person. It's not really formal or anything, so I don't really have to care. All of them can have different natures, though. They can make little packs. The psychic ones can make tribes. What I saw during that outbreak day was horror. For the Pokemon world I know, sure, they mention some interesting things at times. The games never showed it, though. The guards at the base camp and the fields were mangled. Their bodies were covered in blood. The smell of burnt hair from electric attacks permeated the air. It was revolting. I vomited right away. Though the professor, Akira, just shrugged it off. They patted me on the shoulder and said it was just the risk they signed up for. The worst part was, one of the guards did have a Pokemon. In general, they all have spears. Part of me for some reason thought they would never be used. Dead Shinx with a spear impaling it. A Bidoof that looked like it was eaten by a large pack. How many times would I have to see such a scene? Presently, I get all sorts of comments. People stare at me, still calling me an outsider. Or they just hate my godly luck. Like I am some sort of chosen one, just because I can throw a ball at Pokemon. Yet as I have fought against the so-called nobles, to make them peaceful again, no one helped me. The burns on my skin from Arcanine are still healing. If not for my Pokemon, it would have been worse. I have scars along my arm from Kevlar grazing me. When I dodged wrong, I thought Avalok would just crush me. But somehow, I made it out alive. The others could have helped me throw the bombs, though this is all a thankless task. Only Akira and a few clan members seem to really care about if I live or die. The potato mochi guy in town looks at me like he wants to kill me even after months. Honestly, I've been tempted to just run away with Volo to search for ruins when he asks me. Maybe this damn phone is what keeps me going. I think the funniest part of it all is these people didn't change. A lot of them put up faces, but I've done it. I closed the space-time rift and brushed aside their false deities. Are they gods if they obey my commands? Then again, maybe it's what this god really wants. This phone. dreams, something doesn't let me run away or turn from it. Even though everything, even through everything I've been through, people I watched die, Pokemon I had put down with my own hands, was I brought to suffer? Was I brought to be given power? Was I brought to be given the power that could control the world? And made to suffer to see if I'd use it? Screw you, Arceus. I slide against my front door and sulk into my knees, crying again. I was getting pretty good at it. I knew I probably wouldn't be allowed to return home. A soft knock, a soft, almost tender knock to my door. Excuse me, but might you have said Arceus? I don't know how Volio, yeah, Volo would sound. I try not to smirk, even with my tears in my eyes. I can feel my lips part up a bit. Taking a slow, shaky breath, I lift my head and speak against the door. Yeah, Volo. Have nothing better to do than stalk my door? A bit of a pause occurs. A bit of a long pause occurs. Volo always seemed to need time to process talking to people or something. May I come in? Or you come out? I sigh, stretch my arms, and open the door to the overly tall, smiling blondie in front of me. Yeah, hello. Outside it is, because I'm guessing you're going to bring me somewhere. Smirking at me widely, he does his usual and lifts his index finger up and starts wagging it. Wagging, his finger and starts wagging it at me as he speaks. Yes, I'll leave it to you, hero of the region. You mentioned Arceus, so I had a question if we may both go out and find him together. It sounds like a good idea, no? Some part of me felt like I should go give Arceus a piece of my mind. To my knowledge, I filled the Pokedex fully, but nothing even happened. Unless the jerk meant I had to leave to another region. You know what, Volo? Sure. You got any ideas on how to find the jerk? Volo looked at me differently when I said those words. Though it was weird, I couldn't tell if he wanted to frown or smile. How about we walk and talk for a moment? I don't mean to act strangely in front of the rest of the village. I nod my head and start walking with him. We leave the village gate and start making our way to Mount Coronet. Now, apparently, there are 18 plates in total, part of the Great Arceus, or some way connected to it. Bringing them together is sent and let one bring forth the so-called god. Deity, Pokemon, you already have 17 plates too, don't you? I fiddle with my belt loop of Pokeballs, listening carefully as we walk. Something was strange about Volo today. Like he was anxious in some way. Yeah, you helped me find a lot of them. And I guess over the last few months, I stumbled into the other, so one way or another. I have 17, and I guess if I remember right, the 18th is a spooky plate. A little silly to be named that, but what you gonna do? He chuckles under his breath and checks his own Pokeballs. Checks his Pokeballs as well, before adjusting his cap. Correct! It figures someone like you would even have the name for it. Your world, from what you cared to share, always did sound interesting. From what you cared to share, always did sound interesting. I suppose you know how to get the plate as well, too? Frowning a little, I brush my hand against my face, trying to not sigh. Well, there is another godlike Pokemon. Well, there is another godlike Pokemon, I guess I never recorded. If Arceus is the god of all things, this other one would be like the god of nothingness, or distortion is a better way to say it. A Pokemon called Giratina. Why is it underlined? Did I do that on accident? Shouldn't be underlined. Stop being underlined. Yes, even with the knowledge I have, I don't know a lot about it. Just it lives in its own space outside of time and space. An entity, not direct, an entity. An entity not directly controllable by Arceus. Though I think it's weaker than Arceus. Probably stronger than Pokemon that can travel between dimensions, though. No, that's fine. Do I spell it differently somewhere else? Arc CS. Wait, how is it spelled again? No, I'm not sure. Arceus. Arceus. That is how it's spelled. Okay. Making sure. Double check, looking at the list twice. Making sure who's naughty and nice. Yawn. Stretch out the arms. Dude. Yawn. Ugh, man, I hate yawning. A silence falls for a while. Both of us shift to survival mode. We reach Mount Coronet, and I need to hike up the mountain. Sadly, real life was not like a video game. Even with the noble Pokemon's help to carry me along, it took a bit of time to reach the next camp on the mountain. Lucas, Willow sat down on a chair by the campfire. We were nearing the peak. Guards set up the camp, but did not often make the climb. It was just us, keeping warm by the snowy peak. Well, I have a pendant. Willow reaches into his shirt and lifts out a necklace. The pendant on it was rather large. I thought almost fist-sized. It seemed silvery, but a darker color, like it was faded or grayed out. It's been handed down through my bloodline forever. The males wear it as a necklace, while the females usually clip it to their clothes, like a brooch. I suppose I never understood why for so long. What does this pendant mean, that we would all pass it down for so long? If it had a meaning, would it be lost? He pauses, again, for a long time, just watching the fire as it crackles before us. Have you ever asked yourself, what if your world was the fake one, and ours the real one? You could be in the past or future in our world, never knowing the present. Your world could have been some cage, and you were allowed to come here. Or this world could be a cage, and you were simply sent to a prison for some unknown reason. Simply sent to prison for someone. Yeah, that's fine. Volo was being a bit more serious than I liked. He would talk about ruins and junk for hours, usually with a smile. The talking meta-knowledge was odd. I never told the people here I knew them from a video game. Felt so odd to hear it. Felt so odd to hear. What if? Alright. What if? So what? Is that what I should say? Willow chuckles to my response, his fingers brushing over the side of the pendant. I get the chance to live. I get the chance to live. That this isn't exactly ideal if some god is deciding everything I do. I can cry and feel bad, but I don't know. Life's here for us to enjoy it. Suffering and all. If Arceus is stronger than all these other Pokemon, he could just stop the problem, children. He doesn't. He lets it play out, even as we go around trying to beat up him or capture him or whatever. If he doesn't care what we do, that either means he doesn't think we can do anything, or if we capture him, it would change nothing, right? Standing up, Volo takes the necklace off and holds it toward me. This necklace isn't mine. This necklace isn't mine. It's a double. A double that shouldn't exist. It's supposed to be one of a kind, passed only through my family. But I have mine, the original, or copy, right in my pocket. He sets the necklace down into my palm. I got that from Mistress Gita, or however you pronounce her name. She apparently came from the Rift as well, years before that. Conductor, he called himself. Years before I was even alive. She is part of my family line, but comes from a different time, universe, world, who knows? It only made me wonder more. What is this pendant for? Let it travel through time. Your clothing did, but nothing else you had on you. Correct. Let me make sure I spelled this name right. Nita. Okay, it is Nita. Or at least that's how they spell it there. We're getting through. Not that many pages. It's only a 5,000 word story. Volo made some good points, and go figure talking about existential dread could be a rather calming, peaceful time. I wonder if Cognita? Incognita? Cognita? Is really a girl named Cynthia. Willow cocks an eyebrow at me, but gives me some sort of little knowing smile. She has knowledge I don't think anyone of this time should have, and no way to really explain. The pendant paints her as one of your own, and you share some features, though what's that matter anyway? Regardless, everything keeps leading us to Arceus. Fidgeting in place, Willow lifts. I don't know why I always say lifts up constantly. Will lifts a purple plate from out of his bag. This is the spooky plate we were speaking about. Giratina itself gave it to me to fight Arceus. Can you believe such a thing? Part of me wanted to take the plates from you. I was the one who stirred the time rift with the help of Giratina. But maybe Arceus planned it as a way to make you show up. I flinched in my own spot. Did Willow want to betray me? Though it sounded like his feelings weren't the same. Same now. Some dark eldritch creature asks for help, and it's hard to not accept. My people worship Arceus. But what has he done? Not shown himself for lifetimes. Not helped with crisis. Just let us live. I've wanted to know so long why. I wanted to fight him. I wanted to take his power as my own. Just to end this universe and create a new peaceful one. But would any of that even be possible? The words Willow spoke sounded a bit like the Team Galaxy I knew about from the games. Those other words, motivations, were a bit different. Volo, if it is some god of all creation, I always wondered. Do at least Steam? Doesn't want to be caught and used so someone else can try out the god thing. I really don't understand myself. If I was back home, I'd be worrying about nothing like this, but here I am. Because some voice in my head told me to go throw balls at animals with supernatural abilities. Laying the plate before me, he gets out his pendant, the apparent original one. We should fight this god then. I'll show Giratina to you, and Arceus will come to your call. I don't think that my family is normal. These pendants, I think, stand against Arceus's will. Maybe it is why my people worshipped it. Maybe it is why my people. I think stand against Arceus. Pendants, I think, stand against Arceus' will. Maybe it is why my people cared for the thing. I think we are the people born to stand against it. Stand against. Arceus. So why not see what we can discover? Maybe the logic was there in some way. Giving Arceus a piece of my mind was fine with me, at least. In video games, you could capture him, tame him, he, it, whatever gender and lack of it the thing has. It never seemed all-powerful as your partner, only when doing special events. Then again, if you were all-powerful and lived forever, putting up with a trainer in a video game for a few weeks is nothing. What's even a human's lifespan to that of a god? Just a blink of an eye? Fine. Let's climb the mountain and do whatever we gotta do, Volo. And pull the necklace around my neck. Gently tap my fingers against the pendant, gifted by Arceus or gifted by something else to face him. Volo smirks at me and shakes his finger just like usual. It'll be interesting to find out which, won't it? We're either going to die or not die. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Ugh. Stretch arms. You gotta stretch them all. Ugh. Okay, where was I? Climbing the mountain did not take long. We were close enough to the peak, just passing through the tunnels, and we were at the main shrine atop the mountains. It was a bit destroyed now due to it, dealing with other so-called legends. Walking the steps... Walking the steps with Volo, I could feel the plates in my bag vibrate, hum. Something was going on having them all together. Just a little... Done. Arceus is there. No, that'd be funny. I could just erase this whole thing. Just Arceus. Arceus is here, and then, make this all, they turn into girls. It's pretty funny. 2,000 words. They're girls now. It's funny, haha. But no, it's like 4,000 words of depression, and then haha, they turn into girls in like the last 500 words. Done. Done. Opera. She's an opera singer. She's an opera singer. Don't you want to meet her? She's an opera singer. World domination. For everlasting peace. Let's see. No, I want to be with it. Okay, we're at the pump. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, we're not if it is. The celestial flute shoots from my side and pops. Instantly, the flute changes before my eyes. It was a bit spikier, I would say, from Bolo's eyes, though I could tell he had some idea of what now drops into my hands. Volo, you know what this is? The Azure Flute, Snake. Volo takes a long breath, even biting his lip for a few moments. Well, I figured it would go to you regardless. I'm glad I changed my plan. I'll call Giratina. Then when you see it appear, play the flute. Arceus should then come. Arceus, come now. That's gross. Fecal. Funny. Willow closes his eyes for a moment, and I watch a dark aura surround him. It was like a shadow. So much that the shadow Volo casts begins to extend across the ruins. Seeing it in reality is much different than just a game. Thud. The creature's feet smash against the ground, shadowy wings, a grayish body, the yellowish gold material that surrounded its head and neck. When I thought of it, in its legless form, or the one with legs before me, Giratina had features like Arceus, much more than Dialga or Palkia. Maybe it was not wrong to assume the Pokemon had some strain. Isn't it a strain? Isn't a strain a real word? How do you spell this word? This is a real word, isn't it? Strained. Oh, no, it's estrained. Okay, that's why. I just hit Control S. I wanted to hit Control C. I'm not saving it. I'm not saving it. I'm shaving it. You're shaving it? Yeah. That is another Final Fantasy XIV meme. Another one. I got a bunch of them. I don't know why it's not Control Seeing. There we go. Hit it a few times to make it right. We don't have reason for gods. And then the British boy kills God. Anyway. Maybe it was not wrong to assume the Pokemon had some strange relationship to the god after all. Honey feels nervous at the sight, but I push the flute to my lips as I see Giratina's dark red eyes stare at me. The flute whistles out, and I feel the plates suddenly shoot up from my bag into the sky. Turning around quickly, me and Bolo and I both watch crystal stairs form before us, heading up into the sky. A large, shining platform, even form seemingly made out of pure energy. The plates float and spin, a bright yellow light starting to form in the center. Giratina wastes no time. Its body trails with a shadowy energy. Shadowy energy sounds cooler. With shadowy energies, the legs it had vanishing as it flies up into the air toward the platform. It switched forms right away, the wings it had now becoming tendrils. It was more like a serpent now, some shadowy dragon serpent at least. Volo. I'm guessing we should follow. Come on. Not wanting to get far behind, I grab a hold of Voller's hand and race up the crystal steps with him in tow. This is just my fantasy of dating, Vol. No. At first, he seems a little confused, or maybe just processing his goal was right in sight. Each step we climb, we watch the mountain shrink from our view. We were going higher up. It was starting to get cold, honestly. Though I did not want to believe you're exiting the stratosphere. Come on. Could have flew us up there. Each step I take was starting to make me sweat, while I was clenching my hand now. There's no real surprise, as our sweat starts to freeze. It suddenly drips to the crystal floor. It was getting warmer as we grew near the platform. Then we were finally there. Giratina's voice could be heard within our heads. It was looking at the bobbing mass of light, with the plate shifting around it. Horse clack. Weird feeling. Then, a leg steps out. The horse-like body I had seen from the games. It was regal. Another pair of red eyes staring between the three of us there. As it stares, the plates then connect into it. I'll just say that. The golden half halo surrounding its body connects fully around it, a rainbow of colors displaying to us from the gaps. By all means. I could say it was not as large as I expected it to be. Arceus standing before me, filled with the powers of the plates, which are just apparently pieces of itself. As it stared at us, I thought we'd do more, but not even Giratina dared to move. Like doing nothing would be its... but not even Giratina dared to move. Like doing nothing would be its end. Like doing so would be its end.
Child, you've done as I've asked.
I don't know how to speak. As Arceus speaks, he does not speak to a mind. Just aloud. Oh my god. I'm deleting more than I'm telling you. Without even a visible mouth, it speaks. It was like a mix of voices together, but I can understand it. Arceus does not even look at Volo or Giratina. What
Do you wish to return to your own world?
It'd be like weird, shifting voice like that. Suddenly, I could hear all around me the sound of a clock, ticking and talking. Looking under myself, the platform had two hands doing just that. Was it trying to pressure me? I had no idea what to say.
A fight is what you came here for.
Yet you all hesitate.
How will you subjugate my power?
Standing idle. Roller's fist tightens, and he waves his arm to his side, his eyes both showing for once. They looked fierce, but also sad. You're just going to say that. You already knew why we came up here, but you're asking them, of all people, if they want to do something else now. Dragging his hand across his face, Voller tosses his head off.
My people have worshipped you for years. Was it just some joke we never questioned you? Do you rule all of these god Pokemon? Are you a true creator? Are there others like you?
Or are there others like you?
You have so much to answer for, yet you ask something as simple as giving out a return trip back home? I've been spending my whole life trying to contact you, the people of my bloodline too. Past or future generations, I'm sure too. You already know that too, though, don't you? This small moment right now is just a game for you, isn't it? Well, if we're both players, what does that make you, the game master? Breathing heavily, Volo wipes some sweat from his brow, dropping his backpack to the ground. Even if we tried to make a new universe with your power, you would rule over that as well, right? Anything we do now would be pointless. Would be pointless in the end, unless you die. Swallowing back spit, I tighten my fists. We're here because we have no need for gods. That just sounds cool. Then,
judgment?
It is.
The god casts judgment. You all die. Story over. I wonder if that got messed up. Well, not problematic enough yet. Oh, my back. Take a breath. Think twice. Well, anyway. Giratina cries out suddenly. It jolts forward, trying to brandish ghostly, shadowy might against Arceus. Arceus, however, lifts his head slowly up, almost paying the attack no mind. The ring around his body instead reacts, shooting from it several shadow balls into Giratina till it crashes to the ground. The clock ticking noise then stops. I go to grab a Pokeball, but find I cannot move. I and Volo, it still sounds so stupid. I and Volo both were stiff. Then the air around us feels thicker. The color even turns black and white, colorless all around us beside the space around Arceus. Giratina is but a shadow.
Created on accident by my doubts. Though he holds power.
What's a shadow to the light needed to cast it?
You may both rest now. Your attempts to fight me never even began.
A ball of light shoots up into the air from Arceus' head and splinters out into a spiderweb of energy coming down toward me and Volo. It looked like a blast that could wipe out a population if desired. But now all of it was centered on us, frozen in time and space, waiting to be simply
waiting to simply be wiped out by Arceus, kind enough to let our eyes witness and process the information. Then, nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all, and then we'll throw in the rest of the story at the very end. People will love it. It's great. Your people fought God and won on accident. Just like, trying to fight God, I cast Reflect. Let's see. Then nothing. The light fades. I and Volo both can move again. Arceus lay collapsed before us. Giratina is nowhere to be seen. The light fades. I and Volo both can move again. Arceus lay collapsed before us, and Giratina is nowhere to be seen. What? My voice stammers out as I pat my body and blink. Did I die and get reborn into the same spot? Is this fake? What just happened? Volo shakily grabs at the pendant on his chest and looks at the dark color it now showed. I think the pendant did something. Maybe these were part of Arceus too at one point. Two as in also. Grabbing the pendant. At my chest, I noticed it has a lighter hue to it. Even as warm to the touch. What do we do now? Fine. Arceus sighs slowly on the ground, the plates all dropping down before us. Even if I did not expect such an outcome, then you too can share the burden. For the next world, you will be the new gods given. I'll even give you my power. Though I won't let you turn back. Not till someone comes for you. I look at the fallen god before us. Wide-eyed. I try and run to it, but it vanishes away. The reality around us starting to crack. The sky was falling, but time was collapsing as well. Volo, what the heck is going on now? Is the world just being destroyed? Josh? It is the world? Yeah, that sounds fine. I'll just make an M dash there. Make it a little cooler. Is the world just being destroyed? Volo runs up to me and pushes into my side, grabbing my hand, his other on this pendant. No, I don't know. It sounded like that new world is being made. Like it or not. Then nothing. Yeah, again. Lovely. My immaculate clone snake. No. Ugh. Arms stiff. Body ache. My armor, my sword, and my shield. You gathered for me, now the path I shall yield. H-I-T-S. Hits. I don't know, I'm thinking about Fable. But it was a Fable thought. That wasn't funny. How long is this? Wow, it's actually under 1,000 words. That's funny. The part where the transformation actually happens, which the ending is just under 1,000 words, and that's pretty haha funny. When me and Volo, when I and Volo woke up, we were back at the shrine, laying on the ground. The shrine, however, was in perfect condition. No part of it destroyed. No part of it was destroyed. Though something was off for sure. Me and Volo. Me and Volo. I and Volo were hand in hand still, but we both had no clothes on. All our gear was gone. The only thing with us... the pendant. The only thing with us was the pendants. Even the plates were gone, but looking at the pendant closer, each of them had small jewels now with every Pokemon type. Every Pokemon type color. Luigi. Every Pokemon type. But looking at the pendant closer, each of them had jewels, now with every Poke-type color. What does this even mean? I'm alive, but... Volo, wake up! Sitting himself up, he groans softly. His cheeks a little red as he looks over my naked body. We're in a different time, a new world. The pendant's changed. What do... Letting go of my hand, he rolls to his side, groaning and holding in his chest. Painful noises. I'm becoming a hot girl. No. It's great. It's great. Lovely. It seemed painful. I wasn't sure if he was hurt, so I reached my hand. So I reached my hand at him. Then I feel what was equivalent to a hit to the groin. Gah! We were both in pain, withering on the ground, the pendants around our necks, then snapped from the necklace, and I watch Volo sink into his skin as he turns over. The one on me goes into my chest as well. Surprisingly, though, the pain to my crotch was worse than the object entering my chest. What is this? Between my legs. Under the Pokeballs I had left. Between my legs. I feel a pair of lips form. Huh? This can't be real. Even in my panicked state, I wasn't dumb. Grew between my legs. I could feel the folds just brushing fingers crossed, though my member was still there. On the other hand, as Volo turns over, I see a pair of rather supple sway. Our bodies are changing. Though I couldn't say gender if my was still there. As those parts grow on us, though, our pain sways. We hold what the other held before. Not this too. Not this too, Voldo cries, out in a more feminine voice now. From my grunts, I can tell mine was too. It did not take long for us to match body types. Brr. Up. Brr. And up. Both. Brr. Still showing. We were supposed to be some mixed gender. Is that the last of it? Willow sits up, sighing slowly, but as he does, I watch his hair fall to the ground and spread out around him. It's much longer than before, but still that bright blonde. It seems like it's making us both, my voice. Both more or less women now. Even... Grabbing my hair. I see it, too, as blonde. It's blonde color now. Touches against my butt as I sit on the ground, acting like a bad pair of clothes. Your eyes. Willow stares at me, but comments on my eyes of all things. You look the same... Oh, wait. His eyes look the same to me, though. They're like mine now. Grey, or is my bloodline part of Arceus? Blinking a few times, I rub my eyes and manage to stand myself up, placing a hand on my hip. It seems a little bit taller, my hips a bit wider. My skin was smoother. I can't possibly, no way. Arceus, he didn't. Standing up with me, Voldo examines his own body more closely, his hand dragging along his arms. No hair, slimmer build, yet maybe even a bit taller than I was before. The chest as well, rather normal, all things considered. I thought it too big, but watching his hand... I thought it was too big, but watching his hands squish against them, given her heights, maybe it was just smaller than I realized. Not like I had ever been a girl before, so of course, any chest is too big if it was always flat in the first place. Did Arceus make us these feminine forms as some punishment? I suppose if we're made gods, having both sexes doesn't seem strange, but all of this... Willow stops talking and looks up at me with a curious look. Actually, what is it? You sound like some idea of what happened. Sighing slowly, I brushed my hand through my now long silky blonde hair. It felt nice and clean despite just being on some ruins floor. Well, we seem to both now look like that woman I mentioned before, Cynthia. Naked, mind you, but for the art. I mean, we look so close. The hair, body type, the tall height. I don't know if we are her exactly, given between our legs, but our faces and body type sure do. Willow's eyes shift to looking over the horizon. A few places already look different. This isn't the same as before. Same mountain, everything else could be changed. I wonder if Nita was another Cynthia then. Would there be 3 of us now? My bloodline carried some of Arceus' power somehow, and this Cynthia girl Arceus decided was the ideal human form, is that it? Breathing nice and slow, I take in the air around me. It was weird. Part of me felt like I no longer needed to breathe. My body was warm, but I could see snow-covered mountains. Snow-covered mountains were still around me. This shrine has Pokemon, so we're in a world that still has Pokemon. Willow nods towards me. I guess that means we have to figure out what these godly powers of ours are. And maybe get some clothes. End joke. It ended on a joke note, so that makes everything okay that happened in the story.
become as gods. So close that. Open up Patreon. Post our story over there. And then I want to at least write one page of novel stuff, and then I will stop stream for the day and go remember to actually exercise, because I hadn't yet. I wanted to in the morning, like I had been, but my body felt way too sore, and I fell asleep. So hopefully I can do like 5 to 6 or something for exercise, and, well, I'm not gonna, well, I might be able to write that fast. No, I'll probably start at like 5:30, but Unity learning hopefully will start at like 7, whenever I eat dinner. And then I can stop at like, hopefully like 12, and actually get to bed at a more normal time today. But we'll see. We'll see. That is the plan in my head. That is formulating. The plan in my head that is formulating. I'll be your master. Your Pokemon master. Wow. Wow. Wow! TG. Pokemon. How much do I rate Pokemon in this first part? Oh, it started me at the bottom, that's why. Doing that E accent. Yeah, I usually do this one first, don't I? Before you read. Publish now. Yeah, that's fine. Oh. It hyperlinked Giratina. I don't know why. That's what happened. I was wondering what happened to that. Hyperlinked Giratina. Well, now I feel silly. Anyways, we, oh yeah. I forgot that I had all of these up. How long was that up? Well, it's probably fine. Okay, let me get novel stuff all thrown together. So I can just close this and open our duality decision. Duality decision. Come out and play, Vegeta. Get out of here, Grammarly. This story is perfect and needs nothing to be corrected. The Mananet. The Mananet. So let's try to at least get to the middle of page 6. Phone. Oh wait, no, it was phone. Then he claps. As soon as Tally says the word, "You're saying the phone beat? Then bring it here to me." The North's Mananet turns on when we pass the warp zone. Then he runs away, and within a minute comes back with the phone, placing it in Tally's hand. Leaning back in her chair, she swipes at the screen and stares, perusing it. He made a new story, just posted today. What about a princess? I guess he sometimes keeps up with the world news. So this is like 3,000 words. I feel like if I really wanted to say, this would like be the actual prologue, and now we're going to start the real story. I don't know if we'll say that, but where I think it's ending off at a good part for a chapter, I think I'll just separate it with like a, I don't know. Oh. I hit the button again. Oops. Yeah, I think I'll hit the Pokemon. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. This one. That is the wrong button also. Okay. There we go. Rating mode. Just forgot I need to bring up my other file like right away. It starts 3,304. Oops. I'll just try to mark the days a little bit differently.
Keeps me. arms. My arms. A little more and we hit our goal today. A little more. I can get through it. Oh.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Just Grundle. Grundle the one I want. From I love it. I love it. It's great. Just like, some kid walking his dog, and then, Stalker Princess is up in the tree with her bodyguard staring down at you. Just like, hey, that one's mine. I want that one. He's not a dog, you know. He's playing with a dog, but no, I don't want the dog. I want. Yeah, I don't think you heard what I said. Let's see. Let's see. As they say. I just saw something dumb. So dumb. Dim. So dim. Tan. Sine tangent. I don't know. Labs got cancelled. Anyway, we got a little past page 6. Well, we got to page 6, and a little, down more. I think this is a good point to stop it before I get too far into this scene, because I'll probably be wording too much then. We're at, like, present events where things are gonna start getting, interesting. Things are gonna start getting juicy. They're gonna start getting juicy. I don't know what this is. What is this? Anyways, I'm gonna go exercise, eat, and then do Unity, I guess, and then sleep is the idea. So yeah, I'm gonna go do all those things. So I'll be back in a while. Bye.